Good morning, dear students. Today we will have a discussion regarding map reading and its concern. Why map reading is necessary for a soldier? Because a soldier has to go to an unknown area where he has to fight with the enemy. In that case, the soldier has to know each and everything of that area. Map will help him to understand the area clearly. So the study of map is very essential for every soldier. Then we can discuss details about the map. One can ask, what is map? Map is a representation of earth or area on a piece of paper with the help of scales and conventional signs. Scales, there are two types of scales. One is statement scale, another one is representative fraction. In short, it is called RF scale. Statement scale means a statement is given. What is the scale used on the map? For example, 1 inch on the map represents 1 mile on the ground, or 1 centimeter on the map represents 1 kilometer on the ground, or 4 centimeters on the map represent 10 kilometers on the ground. This is how a statement is given. It is given on the map also. For the benefit of map readers, what scale is used while preparing the map. So that statement given on the map will help us to understand and read the map. That is statement scale. To understand regarding RF scale, that is representative fraction, it is also written on the map that the same representation is given. 1 inch on the map is so many inches on the ground, or 1 centimeter on the map is so many centimeters on the ground. So this way the two scales are used. If you are clear regarding scales, then we will go to conventional signs, which is also important part of map reading. Conventional signs are of 4 types. In 4 colors, conventional signs are given on the map. 4 colors means green, red, black and blue. Green color represents vegetation. Blue color represents water sources. And red colors represent roads, buildings, that is man-made objects. Black color represents particularly railway lines, embankments of railway or road, big bunds of canals. These things are represented by black color. That is, man-made objects are represented in red color and black color. Water resources are represented in blue color, and vegetation, trees, forests, gardens, all these things are represented by green color. So we know that totally 4 colors are used for giving the conventional signs. If this is clear, then we can go to another important part of the map, which is contour lines. Contour lines represent the hilly areas on the map. To give the definition of contours, we can say contours are the thin brown lines joining the places of equal heights. Means one contour, a 50 yards or 50 meters written on one line, that line will go joining all the places which are of 50 meters or 50 yards only. If 100 meters or 100 yards is written on one line, that line will go on joining the heights of 100 meters or 100 yards. In the same way, the 400 is written on any contour line, so that also goes on joining the places of 400 meters. So this is how the contours will help us to understand the height of the hill. It will help us to understand which part of the hill is slope and which part of the hill is steep and how much height the hill has got. The contours will help us to understand an object which is in a faraway distance. If in between the contours are there, contours means hilly area. So that will be an obstruction for us to see that object. So it helps us to study the intervisibility by studying the map, by studying the contours. And another instruments are service protractor and prismatic compass. These two also help for map reading. Service protractor is a small instrument made up of cardboard or plastic. It is of the size of 2-inch width and 6-inch length. It helps us to understand the bearings. It helps us to know the distance of two objects on the map with the help of scale used. So service protractor is a small instrument of 6-inch length, 2-inch width, and it helps for study of map reading. Coming to compass, prismatic compass. Since the compass has a prism and it is called prismatic compass. It is of very useful instrument for any moving forces. It is used by the Air Force people, it is used by the Navy people, it is used by the Army also. So this compass is a very useful instrument, and bearing can be read of any object, map can be set, and we can make use of this compass to find out our own position on the map by finding out the bearing of different objects. And it can help us to go for a night march chart. So mainly there are 4 uses of compass. One is to find out north, another is to set the map exactly. Map can be set by other objects also roughly, but only with the help of magnetic compass we can set the map exactly. And prismatic compass helps us to take the bearing of objects on the ground, and it helps us to go for a night march also. So these are the main 4 uses of compass. That is, once again I repeat, to find out north, to set the map, and to take the bearing of any object on the ground, and to go for night march. These are the 4 uses of compass. Already you know about scale, conventional signs, contour lines, service protractor, prismatic compass. When we set the map, to set the map, finding out north is very essential, because the north of the map and the north of the ground should be on the same line. Then only map can be set. There are three types of norths also, you might be knowing in your previous study. Three types of norths are: one is true north, which is a geographical north. Second one is grid north, the north which is shown by the grid lines on the map. And the third one is prismatic north, the compass which shows that north is called a prismatic north. Now, when we set the map with the help of compass, with the help of compass only we can set the map exactly. After setting the map, the first and foremost thing is to find out our own position on the map. Where exactly we are on the map, that position of ours should be found out. To find out our own position on the map, we have to select two objects which are on the ground and on the map also. When we select such two objects, these two objects should not be in the straight line with our own position. Then only we will be able to find exactly our own position. Otherwise, we have to take a third object also. Instead of taking third object, we should select two objects that they should not be in a straight line with our own position. When we select two objects which are not in straight line with our own position, first of all, take the bearing of the first object with the help of compass. Say the bearing of that object is 160. When the object is bearing is 160, then we have to convert that bearing into back bearing. And there is a procedure of converting bearing into back bearing and back bearing into bearing that I will explain you later on. After taking the back bearing of that particular object, the purpose of taking the back bearing of that object is to get the bearing of our own position. The back bearing of that object means it is the bearing of our own position. By converting the bearing into back bearing by using 180 formula, and then taking or finding that particular object on the ground, on the map also, with the help of service protractor, and on the back bearing of that object, using the service protractor, we have to draw a line on the back bearing, which is our bearing of our own position. We have to draw a line. Then we have to go to the second object. Take the bearing of the second object with the help of compass and convert that bearing into back bearing once again. The purpose, we have to get the bearing of our own position. By using 180 formula, convert the bearing into back bearing, and once again going to the second object on the map with the help of service protractor, draw the line on the back bearing. Those two lines, where they join each other, where they cross each other, and that particular point will be our own position on the map. So this is the procedure to find out own position on the map, which is very essential for every map reader. We can go further study only after finding our own position on the map. Then we can go for the study of map to ground and ground to map. Map to ground is nothing but, first of all, we have to find out the object on the map or select the object on the map, and then we have to find out it on the ground. This procedure is called map to ground. And ground to map means the objects which are on the ground, and we have to take the bearing of that object with the help of compass, and then from our own position we have to find out the same object on the map. So this procedure is called ground to map. Finding out the objects on the ground on the map is called ground to map. Finding out the objects on the map on the ground is called map to ground. So when we do all these exercises successfully, then only we can be called a good map readers. In map also, there are different types of maps. Geographical maps are there. Political maps are there. Economical maps are there. Historical maps are there. Statistical maps are there. The military map. We are concerned with the military map. We find grid lines on the military map, and those grid lines shown on the military map these grid lines form the squares on the map. There are two types of grid lines. One is called easting, other one is called northing. The vertical lines on the map are called eastings. Why they are called eastings means they are numbered from west to east. That is, the number of these eastings or vertical lines go progressing towards the east. That's why they are called eastings. In the same way, the horizontal lines on the map are numbered from south to north. Means their number increase from south to north. That's why they are called northings. These eastings and northings make a square on military maps, and each side of the square measures about 1,000 meters on the ground. Each side of the square of the map measures 1,000 meters on the ground. And with the help of grid system, we will be able to give the map references of the particular objects to the people who are helping us during war, particularly the Air Force or artillery. To give these people the grid reference, by studying the map, where exactly they have to bombard, on which object they have to bombard. For this, the study of grid system also is very important. Though the grid system may not help army, but it will help the Air Force. The army people can study the grid system, give the correct grid reference to the Air Force people, then only they can make a bombardment. So for giving the correct location, for every soldier it is necessary to study the grid system. So there are 3 references. One is this grid system will help the soldier to give the correct location to the Air Force people. They can give 3 type of references. One is 4-figure reference. Number 2 is 6-figure reference. Number 3 is 8-figure reference. 4-figure reference means we can find that particular object in 1,000 yards area. We have to search for that object in 1,000 yard area. When we give 6-figure reference, the object can be found in 100 yards only. And in 8-figure reference, the object can be in 10 yards only. Means 10-figure reference is more exact. For giving Air Force people any reference, we have to always give 8-figure reference. Because they have to do the bombardment on the pinpoint. And 4-figure reference, 6-figure reference can be given to the other troops of our zone which are moving. This 4-figure reference and 6-figure reference will help the neighboring troops of our zone to find out the location. Anyway, this grid system also is necessary, as necessary to find our own position on the map, as necessary